Hey everyone, I'm stoked you made it this far, and I'm glad we're connecting again. So, as promised, I'm going to talk to you today about three of the most important things that I learned in a decade of learning about how to reduce pain, how our bodies work, how to get myself in a better situation than I was in. If you know a little bit about my story, you know that I was crippled with ankylosing spondylitis and psoriatic arthritis, and I had irritable bowel syndrome that was just, it was crushing. I mean, I know what it's like to be in pain, and I know what it's like to have so much of what you want to do in life, so much of who you think you are, and so many of your passions taken away from you because of chronic pain. I cannot tell you enough how much that sucks and how there are tens of millions of people on the planet that this has happened to, and it's not entirely necessary. There are ways to get out of pain. There are so many things that you can do every single day to help get you into a healthier, less painful body. So, the three things today, I'm going to teach you just a little bit of science. And I don't need to go too into science, but I do it for one very specific reason, and it's this. I really like the phrase, maybe you've heard this, give a person a fish, feed them for a day. Teach a person how to fish, feed them for a lifetime. These scientific concepts I'm going to give you, to me, they help teach you how to fish so that you understand how your body's working, how to begin connecting with it, how to change your outcome with chronic pain, and understand why and how it works. And then even above that, one of the coolest things is that you can then pass that information on to someone else who can benefit from it. So I'm doing my best to teach you how to fish. And what I love also, and what's so empowering about everything that I have to share, is that it makes sense. There's not, to this day, with 5 years of talking about my experience reclaiming my life from chronic pain and autoimmune disease, there's not one person that hasn't understood what I've told them when it comes to the process that I went through, like how it all worked. And I think of this, there's a lot of logic behind recovery from pain. That's actually a tagline of one of an old thing that I was involved with. It's the logic behind recovery from pain. It's very, very logical once you understand the science and sort of a more comprehensive view of how our physiology works. Okay, so that being said, leading into to preface this conversation a little bit, understanding how to influence our nervous system, our central nervous system, is paramount in learning how to create a life and a body with less physical pain. We have amazing doctors that have the medical side, which is not who I am. I'm not a doctor. This is not a replacement for medical advice. So seek your professional medical establishments when necessary. I'm also not a dietitian. I'm actually not very interested in diets. What I know can actually break people out of the limitations that diets offer, and it comes from understanding the body's autonomic nervous system. And it's so influencing our immune system constantly. There's not a moment in a single day where your autonomic nervous system, which are some of the primitive parts of the brain and the spinal cord and the spinal column, and it's just one of the things that we kind of forget about, but it's actually dictating a lot of what is happening internally. So our nervous system, the physiology that we undergo and experience every day, is paramount in getting ourselves into a healthier state. So moving forward, the first thing that I want you to know is this. You are not a victim of your genes. You are not a victim of your genes. If you feel like you are, it'll keep you stuck. For me, I tested positive for HLA-B27. So that was scary. Anyone that has symptoms of ankylosing spondylitis and then gets diagnosed with that that gene, it's scary. It can feel like a nail in the coffin. So what I'm going to talk to you about now will help to get you out of a place of victimization. I don't want you to be victimized. And that's why understanding that you're not a victim of your genes is of top priority. This is ground floor. Okay, this is absolutely ground floor. So, a little bit of science. This little smiley face ball, okay, we're going to say that this is one of your cells. We'll say this is one of your immune system cells that's actually attacking your body. You're attacking your spine. The old science used to say that there was DNA inside the cell that dictated everything that the cell did. It told the cell what to do and where to go and everything. That's an old scientific belief at this point. When we're stuck with that belief, we're actually left very, very victimized and powerless because we don't have instant and direct access to our DNA code to change it, right? But again, the newest science, the new cutting edge revolutionary science that is giving so much hope to people with autoimmune disease, I mean, myself included, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am now had I not understood a few of these things. The new cutting edge science is opening the doorway to a whole new field of understanding how to change the body. So the newest science called epigenetics, it's one of the fastest growing fields of biology, and for very, very good reason, because it's giving so much empowerment and hope to us. That cutting edge science is saying something very different about our cells. What it's saying is that the cells actually have sensory organs on the outside of them, basically on their skin, that perceive the cell's environment. And then the cell relays that information to the nucleus, to that DNA. And from there, the DNA kind of processes that information that's coming from, that's being clued into it, and then moves forward, sort of making a decision. Cells, back in the day, were thought to be very simple, and at one point were thought to be just simply sacks of water. Now science knows that cells are infinitely complex, just like humans, right? Infinitely complex. And in fact, all the cells we have in our body, the 70 to 100 trillion of them, they all have an excretory system. They all have a respiratory system. They all have a nervous system. They all have a sensory system, just like humans. So we can relate this little lesson to me directly. Say I walk into a room that's really hot. The reason I'm going to know it's hot is because I'm going to feel the temperature on my skin. Okay, just like the cells perceiving things in their environment. They're going to feel it on the outside. I'm going to feel the heat on the outside of my body, on my skin. It's going to relay that information to my brain, and I'm going to decide what I want to do. Okay, it's like it's very basic, but it happens all the time. And so when we become aware of how this works, it'll really get you out of a place of victimization. So from sensing the hot room, I decide what I want to do. I'll stay or I'm going to leave. We'll say I walk out. Boom. So I walked into a place. My body perceived the environment. My nervous system decided what to do, and I chose to leave. I chose, it was too hot for me. I didn't want to be in the room, so I left. Okay, very basic. But what this says is that a cell, to the same extent, is perceiving its environment. We can't access the DNA of the cell to turn off genes, on and off. But what we can do, what I did, what I've taught other people to do, what was taught to me, is how to influence the environment that the cell is in. And as we change the environment that the cell is in, we change the behavior of the cell. You turn the heat down in that room, I might hang out. I might relax. I might enjoy it. Okay? So you change the environment, you change what the cell is going to do. Quite basic. But that right there is a profound difference. That understanding right there, with the new cutting edge research on how we influence our bodies, means that we can directly and instantly begin to change the environment that our cells are in. And as you change that environment, the cell will change. I want you to know that because I want you to let go of any level of victimization that you might feel in because of some genetic story that someone told you. You are not a victim of HLA-B27. It does not mean that you have to live a life in pain. If you're looking for holes in that theory, check this out. Some people that have ankylosing spondylitis have that gene. Some people that have ankylosing spondylitis don't have that gene, right? That's all we really need to know. It's quite simple. So, first one, out of victimization into application and empowerment. Application and empowerment. So moving from victimization into strategy, into understanding some tools that we can use to start changing. So moving on. That right there is paramount of importance. You will not move beyond where you are if you feel like you can't. Simple. And now you understand some science and where we're moving forward with changing our bodies from the inside out. There's something called heart-based emotions. A heart-based emotion is something like gratitude, care, appreciation, relaxation, love. Those right there are concepts and things in the brain that really impact the body. If you know what it feels like to be in love, you know that you can feel it. It's palpable in every cell in your body. You can also feel what anger and stress and resentment and guilt do in the body as well. So what happens here is they're both mind-body realities. There's something happening in the brain. There's a processing of guilt or something in the brain. And then there are hormones released in the body. So we not only perceive it in body, we perceive it in mind. Some of the new science on this is really, really cool. There's something called the Institute of Heart Math. It's in Northern California. It's a nonprofit organization. And these guys are die-hard scientists studying the body in very, very, very scientific ways, but pretty new and progressive. And what they have learned is that when you get yourself into a place of a genuine heart-based emotion, it can instantaneously have between 14 and 1,500 positive, life-affirming, and pain-reducing chemical reactions in the body. When you learn to connect with your body like this, it can ignite changes very, very quickly. Thoughts are the language of the brain. Emotions are the language of the body. Our body is listening. There are chemicals happening all the time in our body. Cortisol, adrenaline, those stress hormones, they immediately impact your gut. So if you're looking at getting a healthier gut, this is going to help for that. And then the cascade effect of those harmful chemicals and hormones in the body continue to throw the immune system off and can really confuse our body and throw it out of balance. This is one of the most powerful ways that I can teach you that you can do on a daily basis to get yourself back. So what this looked like in my life was I would find a quiet place and I would sit down and I would relax. I would turn off distractions. And this doesn't have to be a big, long, drawn-out deal, but I'd turn off distractions and I would sit and I would focus. And I'd give myself a few minutes and I would think about something, anything that I could be grateful for. Sometimes it might be family. Sometimes it might be for the fact that it was a nice day. Sometimes it was that I had a reliable car. It can be anything. But sit down, relax, take a breath, let your body calm down, and become grateful for anything or anyone. Okay, the emotion of gratitude is one that I really think is powerful. It's one of the most powerful heart-based emotions. Going into gratitude releases, like I said, between 14 and 1,500, right? That's a lot. 1,400 to 1,500 chemical reactions in the body that bring yourself back into alignment. They elevate your state. They enhance the healthy parts of our immune system, which means you don't have as much pain. The part of the immune system that is healthy and doing the good things is the part that we want to nurture and cultivate and grow and emphasize. So that's what this does really deeply. So my tool for you with this is to ideally before you go to bed. If you do this before you go to bed, it's the last thing that your cognitive conscious mind seeds into your subconscious. Your subconscious seeds into your body's immune system. It'll work for you overnight. So it's a body hack, it's a mind hack that not a lot of people know about, but the people that do, you guys, the people that get on board with these things that I'm teaching, they are the ones that experience less pain. one of the reasons why people do not reclaim their life from chronic pain more is because they don't change the psychology and they don't change the biochemistry in the body. That is what we're doing here. When you go into a place of gratitude for anything or anyone, it's changing the neurological processes in your brain. Your brain is firing and wiring in a different way. And that is exactly what I want. You've heard me say this before. When the brain changes, your pain changes. And any long-term results that you are going to receive from any diet or any modality of health and healing, if it's actually long-term and it works in the body, it also changes the brain. I don't care if it's massage or some Reiki or some diet or something. I don't care what it is. If it's long-term, there's a psychological change as well. So we are going sort of beyond a lot of those modalities of healing and physical stuff, right into the central nervous system and rewiring the brain and cascading new hormones into the body that are life-affirming, that are immune system amplifying, and immediately creates less pain in the body. And it might take a little bit of practice because, like riding a bike or playing the piano, we learn these skills over time. So once you get a little bit better at it, I'll continue a little bit more. I'll give you a little bonus here. Once you get better at it, you can do it very quickly. So it took me a little bit of practice, but I got it. I was like, and it felt wonderful. like it absolutely felt wonderful to sit back and give myself a couple minutes and be grateful for something and not just think about it, but feel the gratitude in my system. And you can feel the shifts in your physiology. And that's exactly what we're going for. And once I got better at it, I could do it faster and faster and faster and faster. And every time I would notice that it would calm my mind down, right? I'm rewiring my brain to look more like a healthy person's brain who's not thinking about chronic pain all the time. A healthy person's mind will be thinking more about things like gratitude and how good life is, not victimization and anger and processing chronic pain. So my brain was looking like a healthier person's brain. My peace of mind was higher. I was feeling the changes in my body, and I knew that if I did it enough, it would become easier and it would change my state. And as you know, what this little guy has already told you today is that he is listening to you. He is inside of you, and as you change the hormones that he's swimming in, then he will change his behavior. Right? So if this is a little immune system that's attacking my spine, and he gets hit with he gets bathed. That's a more poetic word. He gets bathed in the biochemistry of gratitude or appreciation or happiness or joy or relaxation. He will not attack your body as much. That's how this works. It comes back into balance. Whatever confusion was there goes away. Okay? Whatever confusion was there goes away when these hormones come into play. I encourage you to do that as frequently as you can, and it'll get easier for you and easier for you and easier for you, and it reduces pain. And I learned it to the extent where I can very easily drop into and just feel gratitude in my body. At this point, I'm so grateful for my body. I don't struggle with it like I used to. I used to hate it. I was so angry. I had body image issues. I had tons of confidence issues. I was so angry that my body felt so broken, and I was so resentful at other people that weren't living in chronic pain, because that's what I wanted to do, and no one could see how much pain I was in. And so now, where I'm at, what I know about my body and how your body works, I've gotten to a place where I can drop into gratitude very quickly, and it's something that keeps me centered, and it keeps me healthy, and it keeps the symptoms of ankylosing spondylitis, psoriatic arthritis, and irritable bowel syndrome away. So work with that one. It's a fantastic technique. It will change your life when you do it consistently. And I don't know a single person that's practiced this, that's learned it, that has not had a reduction in pain. And you are in control of this. I'm all about empowerment and confidence building and getting you out of a state of pain and into a better life. So practice that one. The third thing, okay? So the third thing that I want you to know is that one of the most important parts of change of getting ourselves to have less pain, getting our body to come into a place of balance, is feeling that we're part of a supportive community. That goes very deep into our psychology and our nervous system. It might sound kind of simple. Oh, like, well, like, who cares? Like, what does it mean to have some support? Well, think about this. We'll jump into some evolutionary psychology for a minute. When we were in smaller tribes and life was hard and it was difficult to just get enough food and shelter and fight off enough animals for the human species to continue living, it was very, very, very important for us to feel connected, for us to feel like people would support us, like they would have our back in an issue. Okay, these tribes, it's a lot of where our biological processes came from. There was a very fast evolution of human design in a very short amount of time, and it was living in these difficult, challenging environments with small groups of people. And if, for whatever reason, you were left behind, or you were kicked out, or something happened where you were not part of the group anymore, your survival was not only not guaranteed, but it wasn't very likely. So what that means is that the primitive parts of your brain, right, the limbic brain, for example, or the reptilian part of the brain, those are what's connecting with our nervous system and our immune system to the highest degree. And when that primitive part of the brain does not feel safe, does not feel connected, the chemistry changes in our body, and it puts us in a state of chronic stress and fear. And the tricky thing here is that, like, I was in it for years, unconsciously. I didn't know. It's the deepest aspects of the brain, like way back here in the brainstem, practically. We're not consciously aware of it. We might be just upset that we're in pain all the time, but we don't realize that the part of our brain that's talking to our immune system is not feeling good. So, feeling connected to a supportive community, feeling connected to me, feeling connected to the man that coached me and taught me, his name is Peter Winslow, feeling connected to him changed my physiology, gave me confidence, gave me hope. Okay, and those are all on the conscious level. What it did unconsciously in my body is so perfect and so complex that we can't even fully understand it, but it was necessary. It is very, very, very unlikely that you will reclaim your life to the degree that you want to alone. And that is one reason I'm here, to be a resource for you, to teach and to share and to coach and to mentor and to inspire and laugh with you and share my experience, because I also know that when you feel connected to that, it gets your physiology in an elevated state. And as you elevate your physiology and your state, you elevate your immune system. You elevate your brain function. Your brain begins to look like a person's brain that doesn't have pain. And as the brain changes, the pain changes. So it's all very connected. And some of these tools that I employ and give to you, they might seem very simple, but the degree to which they affect your body's physiology is huge and deep and very subconscious and brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. This is how people learn to get out of chronic pain. So, a lot of information for you. Your task now, your action items are to learn some of this heart-based emotion strategy that I've just given to you. The gratitude one is what worked for me really well. So I encourage you to try that one. I encourage you to do it in the evening, if you can, first thing when you get up in the morning as well. And the faster you learn the skill and the more you do it, you'll be able to do it like when you stop at a stoplight. You'll be able to, like, boom, like go into gratitude, feel it in the body. It's a pattern interruption in the brain from whatever else you were thinking about that gets you in a state of wellness and puts wellness into your body chemically. And there's also one of the most important things I learned with AS also, it's the art of self-care. It's learning these self-care, it's the art of wellness, I'll say. There's truly an art to wellness. And this is one of the core pieces. These three things: realizing you're not a victim of your genes because they turn off and on, depending on the environment that they're in. I watched inflammation move in my body, and all of that was genes turning on and off, whether it was in my spine or my neck or my knee or my feet or my ankles. I watched inflammation move. I would be swollen and then it would move. And that's all genes turning on and off based on them perceiving their environment. Okay, and then moving into the heart-based emotions. Then we change the physiology of our body, our neural circuitry in the brain, the biochemistry in the body. And this is truly an art of wellness. And it can bring you to new levels of happiness and pain reduction in life that a lot of doctors don't understand. A lot of people studying diet don't understand. And so you bring these concepts all together with good medical care, you eat well, and it sets you up so well for success. Okay, so your action item is to take what I said seriously, because I know what I'm talking about and I know this stuff works. I've never seen it not work, you guys. With someone who really is ready to change and really ready to create a life with less pain, this works 100% of the time. I've never seen it not work. Started with the guy that taught me, Peter, and then me and others. And so you do these. And when you have any level of success, okay, I'm going to say when you have 1% success in this, boom, contact me. Okay, let me know. Let me know you felt a shift. And what we're going to do is we're going to build upon that. I have hundreds of things like this that I can teach you. Not that you need them all at all, like not to overwhelm you, but a couple of these can make a really big significant change for you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to capitalize on the success that you just had with the 1% or more of pain reduction, anything. Like as soon as you feel a shift, boom, contact me. We're going to build upon that and build upon that. And soon, possibly very quickly, you're going to have the skills that you need to reduce the pain, to change the brain. The physiology is going to do all its magical stuff that it does that we're not even aware of. Our bodies are truly, truly, truly brilliant. And all of a sudden, you're going to be in less pain. It's kind of like when you twist an ankle. You think about it all the time. Like, oh, this ankle hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Every time you get up in the morning, it hurts. And then all of a sudden, one day, it hurts a little bit less. And so maybe you don't notice it till 10 o'clock in the morning instead of 7 o'clock in the morning. And then the next day, you notice it even less. And all of a sudden, 5 days later, you realize like, whoa, my ankle doesn't hurt anymore. That's how this stuff works. It frees up the body to come back into balance on its own, which it's doing all the time anyway, to the extent that it's allowed to by the central nervous system. And then it frees up your mental capacity to think about other things in life. Instead of being focused on dealing with chronic pain, you might be able to go outside and go for a walk. So it frees up your mental capacity. And so that's kind of how this stuff rolls. There's a lot of subconscious things happening. And the body is brilliant. People hear me say this all the time. Your body is brilliant. If it's in pain, it might not be easy to understand how brilliant your body is. But I will tell you, your body is brilliant. It is always doing its best to come back into balance. It will, as soon as your nervous system will let it. And these concepts that I've spoken with you about today are some of the most important things I've learned in a decade. So apply them, take them seriously. Understand that what I'm saying is absolutely scientifically proven, which is great. Like, I'm a science guy. I love the science. And so for those of you out there, that'll help you just believe this process, even if it's something new for you, and try it out for yourself. You're going to feel an inner experience that's going to change. It's going to affect your physiology, your biochemistry. It's going to change your neural circuitry. You've heard me say this a number of times, but it's okay. Because I'm teaching you how to fish right now. I'm teaching you how your body's going to work, how it is working in empowering ways that will change your life. So, my friends, do it. You will get some level of success. We are all different. But when you achieve success, and I'm determining success by even 1% reduction in pain, contact me. Okay, and the next step I will take you through is going to capitalize on the success that you've built. It's going to elevate you and get you on a path to less and less and less and less pain. So thank you. My name is Sky Denton. Feel free to contact me. Feel free to share this information. There are 2.7 million people in the United States alone with an AS diagnosis. Another 10 million or more worldwide. Psoriatic arthritis, I think, has 7.5 million people in the United States with it. And this will get all of them to a place of experiencing less pain in their life when they know about it, when they genuinely practice it, and when they get themselves on the system that I've learned and added to and developed and am sharing with you now. This is the tip of the iceberg. I'm thankful that you're here. I wish you nothing but pain-free days ahead. I know what it's like to be in your situation, and I really think back about some of the people I met when I was really sick and I was looking for hope. And for those of you that are in a lot of pain right now, if you feel hopeful that you've connected with me, I want you to follow that. It means that there's something in your body and mind that already understands this. Even if it's new information, there's a shift in your nervous system already. So follow it and connect with me. And I want the best for you. And I want you to be able to live your life in the state that I call AS freedom, which is where you are free to live your life according to your wishes and not live a life being dictated by chronic pain and suffering and perpetual feelings of victimization. I absolutely know what it's like to get there. I know the steps to get out of it. I know how to get the brain in place, how the body gets in place, and how we can move on to much more fantastic, fun, joyous, and days with a lot less pain. So thank you for joining me. Good luck with these. I will see you again soon, and I really look forward to hearing from you about your success and how excited you are to learn more. My name is Sky Denton. Here's to your pain-free days ahead. I will see you another time.